And the algorithms fundamentally have one goal and one goal only: retention. So the longer people spend on the platforms, they consuming content, the more ads they can serve, the more money they make. So they are always going to favor content that holds attention for as long as possible. Our core specialty is, how do you scale? How do you go viral? How do you reach the masses and do highly scalable growth? So one of our core principles of virality, and we can get into it deeper if you want, is the algorithms. And there's a lot of misinformation about the algorithms that people ask me about all the time is, are the algorithms still pay to play? They were never pay to play. They will never be pay to play. And the reason I know this is because if that was the case, nobody would ever go viral. Now there has been a shift, because I remember when MySpace hit its first million users in 2005, 2006, you fast forward today, there's 4 billion people on social media pushing 200 billion messages into the world every day. So there's a lot more content out there. And the algorithms fundamentally have one goal and one goal only: retention. So the longer people spend on the platforms, they consuming content, the more ads they can serve, the more money they make. So they are always going to favor content that holds attention for as long as possible. So when we think about virality, we're looking, especially when we're talking about organic virality or organic success, you have to make your content interesting to the widest possible audience, because the algorithms are looking for content that they can see to millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people and hold attention. You know, this old paradigm of creating a specific message for a very specific niche audience is not right for organic. Can that still work for paid? Yes. But even with paid, you can get dinged in the auctions and your costs can go up if you're not really engaging the widest possible audience. So the real thing is, how do you make people care that know nothing about you, or may not even like your industry, may not even like the types of things that you're talking about? That's where really true success comes from with social media. And a lot of people miss the boat with that.
So as an example, this show has always been positioned around, being for entrepreneurs. That's an example of a niche that doesn't necessarily have mass wide appeal. That's kind of what you're describing.
Yes, but I can give you an example of Gary Vaynerchuk, who talks about entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
but he makes the general audience care about entrepreneurship. That's the real trick, is making somebody that has never thought about being an entrepreneur, doesn't know what being an entrepreneur is, caring about what you're talking about. Does that mean that they have to become an entrepreneur? Not at all. I can give you a prime example. One of the references that we use a lot is there's a real estate agent named Ryan Serhant. And he represents high luxury property, like $10 million plus properties. So he has a very specific audience that drives his business. It's high net worth individuals. But if you look at his social content, especially on YouTube, he does content like, I'm going to take you on a tour of a $250 million home. I'm going to show you what a $7 million closet looks like. Because he knows the general audience, even though they can't afford that, is interested to see what that looks like. And because the general audience is interested, the algorithms give him massive reach. So he'll generate millions of views on those videos. And then he knows out of those millions of people, if 1% of those people are his core target, he's still winning. And he's said that he has sold 20, 30, $40 million properties off a single YouTube video. So it's kind of that kind of perspective, is how do you make it interesting? There's another YouTuber named Graham Stephan who teaches finance to millennials. Millennials typically don't care about finance, but he makes it interesting. Like his most viewed video is how I bought a Tesla for $78. So he talks about the finance behind the decision, how he made it happen. And he's bringing in this wide audience to his core message.
Mm-hmm.